Spike Lee's Crooklyn was more than just a movie. It was a heartfelt look at life in 1970s Brooklyn, brought to life by real people and real stories. The film's cast, including Alfre Woodard, Delroy Lindo, and Zelda Harris, gave performances that truly touched viewers and made the story come alive. Unfortunately, some of these incredible actors are no longer with us. So in this video, let's take a moment to remember and honor their contributions to Crooklyn and the broader world of cinema. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. Don Cornelius as himself. The African-American entrepreneur and icon responsible for the first successful syndicated television entertainment program aimed at black audiences, Don Cornelius created Soul Train in order to fill a void in the Chicago TV market. The tall, handsome former disc jockey with the bass-heavy voice displayed considerable savvy and innovation in the development of his show, which found an audience in short order and outgrew its humble origins. Cornelius was born on Chicago's South Side on September 27, 1936, and grew up in the Bronzeville neighborhood. After graduating from DuSable High School in 1954, he served 18 months in the Marine Corps during the Korean War. After his military service, he tried out various jobs, including selling tires, cars, and insurance, and even worked as a Chicago police officer. In 1966, despite being married with 2 kids and having only $400 to his name, Cornelius decided to take a 3-month broadcasting course. His gamble paid off when he landed a job as an announcer, news reporter, and disc jockey at Chicago radio station WVON. Cornelius made his mark on Chicago television in 1967, hosting a news show called A Black's View of the News on WCIU-TV. In 1970, he launched Soul Train on the same station as a local show. It quickly gained popularity, went national, and moved to Los Angeles the following year. The debut episode featured artists like Eddie Kendricks, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Bobby Hutton, and Honey Cone. Recognizing the lack of TV shows dedicated to soul music at the time, Cornelius used Soul Train to give African-American musicians a platform, showcasing their talent to a broader audience. The show became influential, introducing legends like James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, and Michael Jackson to many viewers. Soul Train also created opportunities for dancers and set the stage for future TV dance shows. Cornelius saw the show as a way to celebrate African-American culture and promote the Black is Beautiful movement. Before Soul Train, African Americans were rarely seen performing on TV, but the show helped change that, gradually earning a large and diverse following. Besides his smooth, deep voice and iconic afro, which evolved with changing hairstyle trends, Cornelius was best known for his memorable sign-off at the end of each Soul Train episode. And you can bet your last money it's all going to be a stone gas, honey. I'm Don Cornelius, and as always in parting, we wish you love, peace, and soul. After he left the show, the catchphrase was shortened to, and as always, we wish you love, peace, and soul, and continued to be used in episodes until 2006. He also frequently used the introduction, "We got another sound coming out of Philly that's a sure enough dilly." Cornelius had a few notable film roles, including playing record producer Mo Fuzz in the 1988 film Tapeheads and a fictionalized version of himself in the 1987 mockumentary The Return of Bruno, starring Bruce Willis. In this film, he hosted a fictional Detroit funk gospel show called Bless My Soul, which featured a staged performance by the character Bruno Radolini and the Temptations. Cornelius's final appearance was on the TV series Unsung, featuring Full Force, which aired just 2 days before his passing. In October 2008, Don Cornelius faced legal trouble when he was arrested at his home on Mulholland Drive in Los Angeles. The arrest was related to a felony domestic violence charge. After his arrest, Cornelius was released on bail. He made his first court appearance in November 2008, where he was formally charged with spousal abuse and for trying to prevent his estranged wife from reporting the incident to the police. In December 2008, Cornelius appeared in court once more and entered a plea of not guilty to the spousal abuse charges. As a result of the situation, he was issued a restraining order that prohibited him from coming near his estranged wife, Victoria Avila Cornelius, who is also known by her professional name, Victoria Chapman. Victoria had obtained 2 restraining orders against Cornelius to ensure her safety. By March 2009, Cornelius decided to change his plea to no contest. As a consequence, he was sentenced to 36 months of probation. This resolution marked a significant turn in his legal troubles, leading him to navigate the consequences of his actions while dealing with the fallout from the legal proceedings. In the 2022 A&E documentary miniseries Secrets of Playboy, Don Cornelius faced serious allegations from the 1970s. According to the documentary, 2 women who worked as Playboy bunnies claimed that Cornelius had sexually assaulted them. The women described a harrowing experience in which they were allegedly taken to Cornelius's home for a 3-day period. During this time, they were reportedly locked in separate rooms, bound, drugged, and subjected to sexual assault. These disturbing accusations brought significant attention, but they were met with strong denial from Cornelius's family. His son, Tony Cornelius, publicly addressed the claims, calling them an unbelievable story without real proof. Tony's statement emphasized his disbelief and rejection of the allegations, suggesting that there was no concrete evidence to support the accusations made in the documentary. This situation added a complex layer to Cornelius's legacy, intertwining his public persona with serious and controversial claims from the past. In the early hours of February 1, 2012, around 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Los Angeles police were called to the home of Don Cornelius following reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, they discovered Cornelius with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. He was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but despite medical efforts, he was pronounced dead upon arrival at the age of 75. An autopsy revealed that Cornelius had been dealing with significant health issues in the years leading up to his death. He had suffered from seizures for approximately 15 years, a consequence of a complex 21-hour brain surgery he underwent in 1982 to address a congenital deformity in his cerebral arteries. Cornelius himself acknowledged that the surgery had a profound impact on his health, and it played a role in his decision to step down from hosting Soul Train in 1993. In the final 6 months of his life, Cornelius's health deteriorated further. There were indications that he might have been experiencing early stages of dementia or Alzheimer's disease, a concern suggested by former Soul Train host Shamar Moore. On the night of his death, Cornelius reached out to his son by phone, expressing his despair and telling him, "I don't know how much longer I can take this." This heartbreaking final conversation underscored the profound struggles Cornelius faced in his later years, contributing to the tragic end of his life. Frances Foster as Aunt Song. A name that often doesn't get the recognition it deserves in entertainment history, Foster was truly a trailblazer. Her stage debut and pioneering role in a national commercial were major milestones in the push for representation, highlighting her talent and persistence in an industry that was often slow to embrace change. Foster, born in Yonkers, New York, came into the world as the daughter of George H. Brown, a dedicated postal worker, and Helen E. Lloyd. From a young age, she showed a remarkable interest in acting, leading her to study at the American Theater Wing in Manhattan from 1949 to 1952. This early training laid the foundation for a distinguished career in the performing arts. By 1955, Foster made her stage debut as Dolly May in the play The Wisteria Trees, performed at the City Center Theater in New York City. This debut was just the beginning of a groundbreaking career that would break several barriers. In the same year as her stage debut, Foster achieved a significant milestone by becoming the first African American to appear in a nationally aired television commercial. This commercial, produced by Procter & Gamble, was a significant achievement at a time when opportunities for African American actors in mainstream media were exceedingly limited. This accomplishment was a point of great pride for Foster, as later reflected in the New York-Amsterdam news following her passing. Foster's commitment to her craft was further solidified when she became a founding member of the Negro Ensemble Company, an influential theater troupe dedicated to showcasing African American talent. She was with the company from 1967 to 1986, participating in over 25 of their productions. Her work with the troupe was highly regarded, earning her an Obie Award in 1985 for sustained excellence in performance. Her involvement with the company and its productions marked her as a significant figure in the theater community. In addition to her work with the Negro Ensemble Company, Foster received notable accolades from the Audelco Awards, which celebrate excellence in black theater. She won 2 Audelco Awards for her contributions, one for her acting and another for her work as a director at the New Federal Theater in Manhattan. Specifically, she was awarded Best Actress in 1978 for her role in Do Lord Remember Me and Best Director in 1983 for Hospice, showcasing her versatility and skill in both acting and directing. Foster's film career also includes notable roles in acclaimed movies such as Malcolm X, CROOKLYN, and Clockers. Her work on television was equally memorable, particularly her recurring role as Vera on the soap opera Guiding Light from 1985 to 1994. Her television career was marked by a distinctive role in the classic sitcom Good Times, where she played Gertie Vinson in the controversial episode The Dinner Party. In this episode, her character is famously forced to eat dog food, a storyline that remains one of the most talked-about moments in the show's history. Through her various roles and achievements, Foster left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry, pioneering representation and breaking new ground for African American actors in theater and film. Her legacy continues to inspire and influence new generations of performers. Foster's personal life was marked by 3 marriages and a lasting impact on her family. Her first marriage was to Robert Stanfield Foster in 1941. From this union, she had a son, Terrell Robert Foster. This early chapter in her life was foundational, setting the stage for her future endeavors both professionally and personally. In June 1961, Foster married actor Roy Glenn. This marriage, like her first, was a significant part of her life, though details about their time together are less documented. Her third and final marriage was to Morton Goldson in 1983. Goldson brought 3 stepchildren into the family from his previous marriage, expanding Foster's family and adding new dimensions to her personal life. Foster's life came to a close on June 17, 1997, at the age of 73. She passed away due to a cerebral hemorrhage at Fair Oaks Hospital in Fairfax, Virginia. Her passing was a loss to both her family and the wider community that admired her work. She was survived by her husband, Morton Goldson, her son, Terrell Robert Foster, her 3 stepchildren, and her sister, Beverly Tate. In keeping with her commitment to giving back, Foster requested that, in lieu of flowers, donations be made in her name to Hale House in New York City and to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. These causes reflected her ongoing dedication to supporting those in need. A memorial service was held in her honor on September 15, 1997, at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in Harlem, a fitting tribute to her legacy. Foster was laid to rest at Pine Lawn Cemetery in Farmingdale, Long Island, New York. Her final resting place serves as a quiet testament to a life devoted to both her craft and her family. Arthur French as West Indian store manager. A son of the Caribbean, born and raised in the heart of Harlem, French was a bridge between worlds. His rich cultural heritage infused his work with a unique perspective, making him a beloved figure in the American theater scene. His parents had both emigrated from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, bringing with them a rich cultural heritage that would shape French's life and career. From an early age, French was deeply immersed in the dynamic and culturally rich environment of Harlem, New York City. Growing up in this vibrant community, he was surrounded by the influence of jazz, theater, and the arts, which profoundly shaped his artistic sensibilities and career trajectory. This early exposure to Harlem's creative scene fueled his passion for performing and laid the foundation for what would become a remarkable career in entertainment. Over a span of more than 50 years, French carved out a significant place for himself in the world of theater. His career was marked by his exceptional versatility and dedication to his craft, particularly through his work with the Negro Ensemble Company, NEC. The NEC, renowned for its commitment to elevating African American voices and stories, provided a platform for French to demonstrate his broad range of acting abilities. Throughout his tenure with the company, French appeared in a multitude of productions, each time bringing a unique depth and authenticity to his roles. His contributions to the NEC not only highlighted his individual talent, but also underscored the company's vital role in the evolution of American theater. In addition to his celebrated stage career, French made noteworthy contributions to film. One of the standout moments in his cinematic journey came with his role in the 1976 comedy Car Wash. This film, celebrated for its humorous yet insightful portrayal of everyday life, featured French as part of an ensemble cast. His performance in Car Wash helped cement his reputation as a skilled and versatile actor in the film industry, adding to the rich tapestry of his extensive career. Later in his career, Arthur French continued to enrich his filmography, taking on roles that further showcased his adaptability and talent. In 2012, he appeared in 2 films that added new dimensions to his already impressive body of work: 2 Days in New York and Red Hook Summer. These films, released in the same month, highlighted French's ability to seamlessly transition between different cinematic styles and genres, proving that even in the later stages of his career, his talent remained as sharp and compelling as ever. In 2 Days in New York, a romantic comedy drama, French brought his unique presence to a film that explored the complexities of relationships and cultural differences. His performance added depth to the ensemble cast, contributing to the film's overall charm and wit. Meanwhile, in Spike Lee's Red Hook Summer, French took on a role in a film that delved into more serious themes, blending elements of drama and social commentary. His ability to navigate such diverse material underscored his versatility as an actor, making him a cherished figure in the film industry. Arthur French passed away on July 24, 2021, at the age of 89 in Manhattan, New York. His death marked the close of a career that spanned decades and left an indelible mark on both theater and film. French's contributions to the arts were widely recognized and celebrated, with many in the industry paying tribute to his enduring influence and talent. His legacy is one of resilience, creativity, and a deep commitment to his craft, a legacy that continues to inspire and guide new generations of actors and performers. Even after his passing, Arthur French's impact on the world of entertainment remains significant, a testament to his extraordinary life and career. David Cassidy as Keith Partridge. The boy next door turned teen idol, David Cassidy's life was a paradox of fame and normalcy. His rise to stardom was unprecedented, but his journey was marked by challenges and complexities that mirrored the tumultuous times he lived in. David Cassidy was born at Flower Fifth Avenue Hospital in New York City to singer and actor Jack Cassidy and actress Evelyn Ward. His father had a mix of Irish and German heritage, while his mother came from colonial American roots, with some Irish and Swiss ancestry. Her ancestors were even among the founders of Newark, New Jersey. With his parents often on the road for work, David spent his early years living with his maternal grandparents in a middle-class neighborhood in West Orange, New Jersey. It wasn't until 1958 that he learned, through neighborhood kids, that his parents had been divorced for over 2 years. a fact they hadn't told him. In 1956, David's father married singer and actress Shirley Jones, and together they had 3 children, David's half-brothers, Sean, Patrick, and Ryan. After finishing up summer school in 1968 to earn his high school diploma, David moved into his dad and stepmom's rental home in Irvington, New York, where he lived with his half-brothers. He stayed there while chasing his dream of becoming an actor and musician, all while working part-time in a mailroom to make ends meet. Once his career started to take off, he moved out on his own. David's father, Jack, played a big role in launching his career, setting him up with his first manager. After David signed with Universal Studios in 1969, Jack introduced him to Ruth Aarons, a former table tennis champion who had shifted to managing talent. Ruth had already represented Jack and Shirley Jones and later took on David's half-brother Sean. She became a close friend and mentor to David, helping him navigate the entertainment industry. Ruth was also instrumental in renegotiating David's contract with Screen Gems for the Partridge Family after discovering he was underage when he initially signed. This new contract significantly improved his earnings and set the stage for his success. On January 2, 1969, David Cassidy made his professional debut in the Broadway musical The Fig Leaves Are Falling. Although the show closed after just 4 performances, a casting director noticed Cassidy and invited him to do a screen test. Later that year, he moved to Los Angeles and signed with Universal Studios. Cassidy quickly landed guest roles in popular TV shows like Ironside, Marcus Welby, MD, Adam 12, Medical Center, and Bonanza. With the success of the Partridge Family's first single, I Think I Love You, Cassidy began to focus on his solo music career. He released albums like Cherish and Rock Me Baby in 1972. His cover of the association's Cherish became a major hit, reaching number 9 in the United States, number 2 in the United Kingdom, and topping the charts in Australia and New Zealand. He also started touring, performing both Partridge Family songs and his own hits, further solidifying his place as a pop icon of the era. David Cassidy achieved significant solo chart success in the UK with hits like How Can I Be Sure, Daydreamer, and Could It Be Forever, which outperformed his success in the US. During his solo career peak in 1972 to 73, he became the highest-paid entertainer in the world, with a fan club larger than those of the Beatles or Elvis Presley. However, Cassidy struggled with the teen idol image imposed on him, feeling frustrated by the sanitized portrayal in fan magazines and overwhelmed by his massive fan base. Although he aspired to be a respected rock musician, he eventually came to terms with his pop idol status. During his career, 10 albums by the Partridge Family and 5 solo albums were released, with most selling over 1 million copies. David Cassidy's solo career quickly surpassed the success he had with the Partridge Family, making him a major draw for concerts around the world. His shows were so popular that they led to what the media called Cassidy Mania, with fans going wild at his concerts. For instance, in 1972, he played to 2 sold-out crowds of 56,000 at the Houston Astrodome. His show at Madison Square Garden in New York sold out in a day and even led to riots afterward. In 1973, he had a series of sold-out concerts at Wembley Stadium in the UK, and in 1974, the excitement in Australia was so intense that there were calls to have him deported after his concert at Melbourne Cricket Ground drew 33,000 fans. However, a tragic event during his 1974 World Tour marked a turning point. At a concert in London's White City Stadium, a stampede at the front of the stage left nearly 800 people injured. Sadly, a 14-year-old girl named Bernadette Whelan was critically injured and passed away 4 days later. Cassidy was deeply affected by the incident, speaking to the press in an attempt to process what had happened. Although he chose not to attend the girl's funeral to avoid causing a media frenzy, he reached out to her family and sent flowers. Cassidy later said that the tragedy would haunt him for the rest of his life. By this time, David Cassidy had made the decision to step away from touring and acting on The Partridge Family. He shifted his focus to recording and songwriting, and his international success continued, particularly in countries like Great Britain, Germany, Japan, and South Africa. In 1975 and 1976, he released 3 well-received solo albums and several hit singles under RCA. Notably, Cassidy was the first artist to have a hit with the song I Write the Songs, which reached #1. 11 on the charts in Great Britain before it became Barry Manilow's signature tune. Cassidy co-produced the track with Bruce Johnston of the Beach Boys, who wrote and composed the song. The two also collaborated on Cassidy's mid-70s RCA albums, The Higher They Climb and Home Is Where the Heart Is. In 1978, Cassidy took on a more dramatic role, starring in an episode of Police Story titled A Chance to Live, for which he earned an Emmy Award nomination. This episode was popular enough that NBC created a spin-off series called David Cassidy, Man Undercover. Unfortunately, the show only lasted 1 season. Interestingly, about a decade later, the hit Fox series 21 Jump Street revisited a similar concept, with young-looking police officers going undercover in high schools. David Cassidy experienced a resurgence in his career in the 1990s, returning to the American Top 40 with his 1990 single Lying to Myself from his self-titled album David Cassidy. He continued releasing music, including the album Old Trick New Dog in 1998, which featured the hit No Bridge I Wouldn't Cross. Cassidy also ventured into acting, starring in the comedy film The Spirit of 76 and the romantic drama Instant Karma in 1990. From 1996 to 1998, Cassidy headlined the Las Vegas show EFX at the MGM Grand, and later co-wrote and starred in the show At the Copa in 2000. His 2001 album Then and Now went platinum internationally and marked his return to the UK album charts. In the 2000s, Cassidy appeared in the film Pop Star, 2005, co-starred in the ABC Family series Ruby and the Rockets, 2009, and competed on Celebrity Apprentice in 2011. As his peak fame faded, Cassidy remained connected with his fans, engaging them in Q&A sessions at concerts. In 2016, during a performance in Florida, he interacted with longtime fans, reflecting his enduring connection with his audience. David Cassidy's personal life included 3 marriages. His first marriage was to actress Kay Lentz on April 3, 1977, but they divorced on December 28, 1983. He then married horse breeder Merrill Tanz in 1984, but they split up in 1988 after meeting at a horse sale in 1974. Cassidy had a daughter, actress Katie Cassidy, born in 1986 from an affair with fashion model Sherry Williams. Although he was her biological father, Cassidy did not raise her, and Katie was brought up by her mother and stepfather. Cassidy acknowledged his distance from Katie and expressed pride in her achievements. His third marriage was to songwriter Sue Schifrin on March 30, 1991, and they had a son, Beau, born in 1991. This marriage ended in separation in 2013 and divorce in 2014. Cassidy moved to Fort Lauderdale, Florida in 2002 and faced financial difficulties, filing for bankruptcy in 2015. In terms of activism, Cassidy recorded a public service announcement in 2011 for Alzheimer's disease research, motivated by his mother's condition. He was also a registered Democrat and voiced his critical views on Republican presidential candidates during a 2012 appearance on The Colbert Report. On November 18, 2017, David Cassidy was rushed to the hospital with severe liver and kidney problems and fell into a medically induced coma. He woke up from the coma 2 days later, but his condition remained critical. The doctors tried to keep him stable while waiting for a liver transplant, but sadly, he passed away from liver failure on November 21, 2017, at the age of 67. A huge shout out to the incredible team behind this video. Without their hard work, none of this would be possible. Now it's your turn to shine. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more amazing content. See you next time.